Hello and welcome to DawnNews English. With 20 minutes, I'm Nadia Naqi. We're just like few days before the elections. That is the day, 8th Feb, when Pakistan is going to vote and elect the next government. So we have with us Shahzeb Jillani. Let's talk about the manifestos. Let's talk about the election campaigns. Thank you so much for joining us. To begin with, Shahzeb, if we talk about the big parties, that's Pakistan People's Party and PMLN, because PTI doesn't exist as, they do not have the symbol. Out of these two, how do you see their, election campaigns?
Well, let's see. I mean, Muslim League Nawaz has been campaigning quite massively in Punjab, which is their home turf. Bilawal has also focused on Punjab, and there's reason for it because that's the biggest province. It determines who gets the federal government. But I think, other than the top leadership of these two parties, the campaign has been relatively lackluster. And that's because generally the public view is that the outcome is predetermined. So it takes away the excitement we usually see in elections. And so, we kind of limp towards the election day gradually. We have to bear in mind there's been quite a bit of violence in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in Karachi. There have been clashes. Again, nothing unusual for an election campaign in our part of the world, but yet there is a lot of anxiety about Imran Khan's party being completely decimated and not allowed to take part in this race.
Okay, when we talk about Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, Chairman Pakistan People's Party, we see him, electioneering in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in Sindh, in Punjab. He's, they've postured as a national party. When you come to PMLN, and when everyone says that it looks like that it's going to be their turn now to lead the government. I don't see the top leadership coming to Sindh. Yes, we do understand they don't have a vote bank, but how do you actually look at this? That PMLN totally not even coming for even a single public rally over here.
Yeah, that is perplexing because Sindh, after all, is the second biggest province, and Karachi has its own significance because of as a financial capital. I believe Shehbaz Sharif came maybe once or twice, but that too to just hold some meetings. You're right that they did not hold any massive public rally. I think the thinking is that they really want to focus on Punjab, and which is their home turf, and which is what they are trying to regain after PTI has been sidelined, because the PTI really damaged PMLN in Punjab.
Right.
And they recognize that instead of spending their energy in Sindh, for example, it's better to concentrate and consolidate their position in Punjab. That's what seems to be happening. Now, they did go to Balochistan, and they've made an appearance.
Balochistan, Shahzeb, that was only when they had started, and that was like taking in a lot of other political representatives within the ambit of their party. But even then, like we see Bilawal Bhutto doing a huge rallies, and even in Balochistan. So for me, it is surprising because you tend to say that you want to lead this country by being the prime minister, but you do not come into these provinces, which of course will remain a question. It's not about how much support you have, but United People's Party, even though they wouldn't have that kind of support in Punjab, but they're trying, and I think this is very important for the party structure to recollect, to reconsolidate again in the province.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess overall, the hard truth is that whoever wins Punjab wins Pakistan, and they're acutely aware of it. Yes, I think they should have made more effort to at least be seen to be spending more time in smaller provinces. But politics is a cutthroat business, and at the end of the day, when you have limited time and money to spend, you tend to focus at your home turf and really ensuring that you win Punjab. So, be that as may, at the end of the day, you're right that Bilawal has reached out to more provinces, more areas. His campaign, I agree with you, seems more national, and that's also because they are confident about Sindh. They are confident about their home turf. They have no competition in Sindh. They think they will come back in Sindh, and it looks likely. That allows him to focus in other three provinces as well.
Okay, because we have little time, I would like to take you here and there because we have very few days.
Take me anywhere you want.
Okay, let's come to the financial capital now, Karachi. Who do you think is going to take the steak or the cake? Is it going to be Jamaat Islami, MQM, Pakistan People's Party, or the independent candidates supported by PTI?
I think I should be asking you that question because you focus more on Karachi and you are better, more aware. My impression is that it will be, a divided mandate. MQM, in my view, will probably gain more seats than 2018. People's Party has its traditional districts where, Sindhi speaking, Baloch speaking voters tend to favor People's Party. Jamaat Islami is also exerting influence. It did not get, as you remember, the mayorship last year. It had worked very hard for it. So I don't think it's necessarily bad that Karachi has a divided mandate. You remember the days when it was only the MQM which dominated Karachi. Because it is a multicultural city, it is a multi-religious city, and entire Pakistan, in a way, has stakes in it. So if there are different parties from this province who get a mandate, that might actually not be bad for the city.
All right. In the last few days, the convictions that have been awarded to Imran Khan, the former Prime Minister, 14 years in Tosha Khana, 10 years in Saifur case, and 6 years in Iddat case. How do you think the PTI voter is going to react to it? Do you think there's despondency and they may not come out to vote, or do you think they'll come out in massive numbers?
So the opinion is divided. Clearly, the convictions in the run-up to election seem aimed at demoralizing his support base. But we are also hearing from people on the ground, from reporters, from analysts, that it is actually firing up the support base even more because they see this as victimization, as a witch hunt, as a blatant targeting and punishment of Imran Khan. And I think to his core support, none of this really matters because we have seen in the past how, for example, Benazir Bhutto was targeted, Nawaz Sharif was targeted. It didn't really shake their base. So what is happening with Imran Khan in terms of court cases and convictions, I don't think it'll damage his support base. For me, the big question is that they are not allowed to campaign. Their candidates don't have the electoral sign, the badge. They are being hounded. They are being harassed. Their campaign is online. Their candidates are virtual candidates. They seem quite determined and they are very kind of innovative in how they're running the campaign. My big question is what's going to happen on the election day when you actually need polling agents. There are hundreds, sometimes thousands of polling. You need polling agents. You need to bring people to the polling stations because whatever we say, maybe in cities it's easier for people to go to polling station, but in rural areas you need to provide them buses and cars and vehicles, and you need to cater to the voter. So how will that pan out? That is a big question, especially when, for example, the police is after you and the police is not letting you organize a corner meeting or even a rally. So it is an uphill task. It is a huge test for the PTI. And I think from this, PTI will probably emerge stronger and as a more organic, popular party than it has been so far.
So this harassment of the members of PTI and those participating in the elections, I seem to, be surprised that Election Commission, with all the authority that they've been given, because this time it's a more powerful, Election Commission legally, they keep on saying, yes, we are providing the level playing field. Do you not think the legitimacy of the elections is already under question now?
It is, Nadia, and we have seen it was in 2018 as well, when state institutions were trying to bring in Imran Khan at the expense of everyone else. This time, they are hell-bent on making sure that he or his party is nowhere to be seen, right? The entire country, the entire world can see this, right? And it's, I mean, to be honest, it's very transparent what they've done. They are not even making any excuses about it. So yes, the integrity of these elections will be questioned. But the other point to bear in mind is that all the other parties who are taking part in the election, if they accept the result and they go in the parliament, then the system will carry on. Even though in the popular imagination this will be not a free or fair election, but they will likely carry on, because look, Sindh will go to PPP most likely, Punjab will go to Nawaz League, KP, from what we are hearing, may go to Fazlur Rahman. So if all the other stakeholders are getting something in return and they're getting share of the power, they will not question the result, they will accept it. And it will be only Imran Khan's party which will say, we were wrong. And we shouldn't underestimate or undermine, because he does seem to have huge support across the country.
Yeah, but as you said, it all depends what happens on the 8th of Feb, because with all the harassment and that atmosphere that exists, that if we go out to vote and somehow people know that, the person is voting for an independent candidate supported by PTI, this is first-hand account that I'm narrating right now, then what will happen to me? Will I be abducted? So I remember this sort of a thing when Altaf Hussain existed. And 2013, when elections were happening, there was a lot of voters from MQM of that time going towards PTI, fearing that what if Altaf Hussain gets to know that, we didn't vote for MQM and we're voting for Imran Khan. So yes, I think this plays a lot on the voters' mind, but let's see what's going to happen on the 8th of Feb. Let's come to Punjab. There is Istehkam Pakistan Party. We all know that, how it came into being and who supports Istehkam Pakistan Party and the kind of seat adjustment. So yes, we do understand that PMLN is not going to be probably given that 2/3 majority. At least that's what my understanding is, because I think what the establishment probably has learned is absolute power given to any party may become difficult for them, because they would probably like to keep that person or that party, at a check by having others also in that plate. So do you really think that Nawaz Sharif would like to become a PM if there is a coalition government? Because what we know of Nawaz Sharif, he doesn't like his power to be diluted.
I guess no one does, Nadia. But politicians have more flexibility in sharing power than men in uniform. Okay, I think you're right. We are not looking at any one party getting 2/3 majority because of the fragmentation and polarization in our polity. And in all likelihood, even if Nawaz Sharif's party emerges as the biggest party, they will get into a coalition. Now, one scenario is that they invite the PPP as a coalition partner to provide stability, and PPP and PMLN form a government together. If Bilawal, as he has said on a number of occasions, chooses to sit in the opposition in the National Assembly, then they will have other smaller parties, including the two factions of the PTI from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and from Punjab, and other smaller elements. So those are two likely scenarios. The third scenario, which Bilawal would like, is that the PMLN sits in the opposition and he gets enough seats from Sindh and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan, and then gets into a coalition with the IPP party you mentioned, which has support in South Punjab. And that would be a scenario similar to 2008, when Nawaz Sharif party was the biggest party from Punjab, but they were not in the government and they chose to sit in the opposition. So these are a number of scenarios, but obviously, as you said, we will see how the election pans out, who gets how many seats. and then the bargaining that will go on.
So, which means that, okay, in a nutshell, yes, things have been decided, but what was decided was not to allow PTI to be part of this with their election symbol badge and with, like a huge support. But what has not been decided yet is that who will take the reins of the country. I still feel it, that's, still hanging.
Yes. I mean, that bit is not necessarily a foregone conclusion. Of course, Nawaz Sharif's party is projecting him as the four-time prime minister, but at the last minute, it could be Shehbaz Sharif, who seems to be more compliant, amenable, acceptable to our military establishment. And in exchange, Nawaz Sharif may insist that Mariam gets to be the chief minister in Punjab province. So those options are there. That he may decide that I don't want to head a government which is going to be weak and which is going to be a coalition government. I'm more interested in seeing my daughter, who's my sort of political hire and my asset. I want to coach her, guide her, and see her gradually take over the party. So within the family, it is all within the family, right?
Yes.
Obviously,
Exactly.
they are not going to bring in somebody from the outside. So so that's something we will have to wait and see.
Okay, so all of this, you see, like we all want that the elected government should complete its term 5 years. I mean, the prime ministers should, because that has been the case that governments do, but prime ministers don't. But do you really see that happening? Is there a lesson learned in all of this? Or
Nadia,
we're going to
I
see
don't.
something of
No.
what we've been witnessing, past all these years?
I mean, look, history tells us not a single prime minister has managed to complete their tenure, and it looks unlikely. The sort of the interference we have witnessed in politics, in parliament, in judiciary, in the media, there is no sign that people who interfere, control, manipulate, they have learned any lessons. I mean, I had hoped after 2018 experiment that they would have learned their lesson. But this time it is worse than 2018. So I don't have high hopes. I don't think the next prime minister will be able to complete their tenure. In fact, if you ask me, and this is again getting very pessimistic, I think within a year or two, there will be frictions over the extension or appointment of the army chief, because it's really unfortunate in this country. The political cycle is not according to the parliament or elections. It is more linked to the appointment of the army chief and extensions and so on and so forth. So I am not optimistic, but let's see how it plays out. And I think it's about time that after 75 years, we provide that kind of a stability to this country, political stability, so we can sort out our huge, massive economic challenges.
Well, I hope the extension doesn't become an issue if PMLN is in power after the elections, because PMLN never gives an extension. I mean, you look back and see it's only People's Party that's given extension to the army chiefs. So yes, well, we can only hope, because all we hear is that everyone, including them, are looking at the economic challenges and wants the country to progress economically, which we all want to. And I can only hope and not take a very pessimistic view, although yes, history does tell us. But thank you so much, Shahzeb, for
Fingers
being
crossed.
with us 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Take care.
All right. Nice talking to you. Take care. Bye-bye.